What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Alexander, obviously. Alright, so I'm sitting in traffic right now, and yeah, so entertain me with something, questions, something. Hi. You guys are funny. What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm sitting in traffic, and I got nothing to fucking do right now but sit in traffic. So if we want to have questions about anything, feel free. This is open Q&A time. What's up, brother? I'm skinny as fuck, just started working out. Any advice? Your first year of training, really focus on bodybuilding, learn the basic compound movements, get stronger at them, get your reps in, and eat. Gotta eat. What can you tell us about lard, real animal fats? Lard is actually excellent to cook with. It's just not readily available for most people. Since most people, it used to be used very widely. Now, cooking with beef fat or, well, I don't eat pork, but cooking with beef fat or pork fat, or even, like ghee. Ghee's not lard, but, these things have kind of been forgotten about. Summary of my working life, I do whatever the fuck I want every day. Are you familiar with escalating density training as design? Yeah, very familiar with escalating density training, EDT. I've followed Charles' stuff for years. It's useful. It works. It's pretty it's honestly very basic. You just pick two movements, you go back and forth, do a shitload of sets. As the weights get lighter, you increase the weight over time. It's not anything too fancy that way. I wouldn't really say it's a method. It's sort of just like a strategy you can use in training. How many workouts should I do for my arms? You can train arms anywhere from 2 to 3 days a week, maybe more for brief periods of time if you really want to, get them bigger. But long term, it's just going to come down to consistency. Best way to stretch fix psoas issues. You need to figure out why you have those issues in the first place. Is it because you don't move? Is it because you don't move, or you're not squatting properly? Usually psoas issues is a combination of improper movement patterns, already being tight in the first place, putting bad technique and putting too much weight on top of bad technique, and then just not mobilizing enough. I want to say stretching enough. If you are someone who's athletic and you move in all directions, and you train your movement capacity, you should not have psoas issues at all. Most people have psoas issues because they just don't do enough variety of movement. All they do is squat. All they do is leg press. They do all these things that are very compressive that way. But solving it's going to be a combination of lengthening the tissue, probably retooling your technique, not doing certain movements. It's a lot of things, not just one thing. It's a holistic solution. It's not going to be any one particular exercise that fixes that. I think supplements boost testosterone. How do I drop visceral fat from my stomach? You drop fat by dieting, you gain muscles by lifting weights. That's that basic. Any advice for a full contact martial artist? About what? Advice pertaining to what? Lift weights, get stronger? That applies to basically any athlete. The stronger you are, this is basic. At the highest level, pro level, everybody's strong, everybody's fit. But if you're just doing something recreationally, semi-pro, amateur, just get fucking strong. That will improve most people's athleticism quite easily, quite readily. Someone had a question that I totally forgot I was answering. Tips for replacing avoiding grains. What do you mean tips? You just don't eat them. Why are you avoiding them in the first place? What about not breaking bones? Learn how to take a hit. What are you really asking with that, too? It's how do I not break my bones? Learn how to fucking get punched and kicked and slammed and all that shit. Part of learning how to fight is also learning how to take punishment, not just dish it out. Your Captain America tweet made me laugh. Yeah, I had this. I didn't see that, but I had this feeling I'm gonna within the next few days I'm gonna see some tweet that Captain America's blue pill because he had one-itis. Because I'm oh guys, just shut the fuck up. Are dips bad for shoulder health? No, dips are not bad for shoulder health. If you got fucked up shoulders, then dips are bad for your shoulders, but dips are not bad for your shoulders. Body weight movements are not bad for your body. But the issue is most people they've taken poor care of their body, henceforth the movement becomes not good to do. Is stretching session required for your workout? Define required. Like, is it good to do? Yes, for most people, it definitely is. Most people are tight and their movement capacity is very lousy. Want to be a personal trainer? What books should I get to study? I can't really think of any off the top of my head that are really that great. Yeah, if you want to be a personal trainer, you need to spend thousands of hours teaching people and also unlearning sort of like all the bullshit you probably think. Book-wise, yeah, nothing really jumps out at me in particular. It's like a textbook, like this is the book on personal training. There's lots of good books. Best physique ever? That comes down to opinion, honestly. I don't really have a horse in that race. Like, this guy had the best physique. It's very subjective. No fat movement. No fat movement is the result of men who have no vitality, energy, testosterone, basically just like castrati men. So they think that by not masturbating, they're gonna like get back their energy that's been stolen from them. I consider them emotionally, spiritually stunted, to be honest. I think it's a bunch of fucking bullshit. But if it helps you, it helps you. So, mental exercises. Do things that scare you. There's no such thing as mental exercise. It's confronting your fears. That's the exercise for the mind. And also lifting weights. Do you train closer to a bodybuilder or an athlete? An athletic bodybuilder. I don't differentiate between those two, honestly. I've always found the differentiation to be kind of obtuse. Since if you train athletically, by default, you're going to kind of be training like a bodybuilder because you're doing movements over and over again. Obviously bodybuilders definitely focus on certain muscle groups, like much more so than an athlete might, but then athletic training is also customized to the sport itself. If I'm an athlete and I'm doing, let's say, squats, walking lunges, step-ups, leg curls, let's say, could that be bodybuilding training? That could be. So, the division of bodybuilding being non-functional and athletic training being functional, I just find it a stupid way to think about it, to be completely honest with you. So, I don't really have an answer for that. The way most people think of bodybuilding training, what do you think bodybuilding training is? It's just about building muscle. For a lot of athletes, when you're trying to get them moving well, they just count what you're doing at the same time. So, again, it's very blurry lines with that. Now, if you're asking me, should a swimmer, have an arm day? No, obviously not. That's very bodybuilder-ish. Okay, we're gonna ask stupid questions, get fucking blocked. What would you recommend to someone who lacks testosterone? Read my article, 50 Ways to Naturally Increase Testosterone, which I retweet every single day on the timeline. Hopefully that will answer some questions. Should you prioritize intensity or work done failure cuts work? Wait, what? Work done? Should you prioritize intensity or work? That depends. That depends. Depends on how you're training, depends on what your need state are, depends on the structure you're training, depends on what the exercise is. Depends on the workout, depends on a lot of things. Should I cut before I bulk? Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, that's a good question. If you're really fucking fat, you just need to lose body fat, period. If you're in kind of that intermediate zone of maybe being kind of chubby, and you still don't have much muscle, you should probably cut down to 2 and still diet, but you also can build muscle while you're in a calorie deficit as well, if you're fatty. So, cutting and bulking is more so for guys who are more advanced, where they're lean and they've built some basic muscle. Now they want to actually gain muscle mass, and so you can do a colt cutting and bulking cycle, or that kind of model. But for beginners, that's not really relevant. How to become higher consciousness? Do things that scare you. Help people. Be of service to others. Read challenging books. Live life, honestly. Put yourself through experiences that will be painful and novel. Some people are naturally more perceptive to the world and reality at large than others, and I don't know that you can really teach that. Stop being offended. Yeah, it's not that too, and that too. Stop being a fag. That's fucking hysterical. Unintentional comedic timing. Yeah, consciousness, the concept how do you become higher consciousness? That's two things. That's being aware of yourself, it's being aware of the world. How do you go about that? Fundamentally, you have to live. You have to live, and you have to do things that constantly push you to the edges of your being. Whether that's learning through books, whether that's learning through books, whether that's experiences, whether that's people you meet, whether that's self-reflection. I mean, that's many, many, many things. Yeah, there's no real starting point for that process. Your starting point is going to be yourself. Mushrooms. Yeah, you could recommend psychedelics, but I mean, that in a way, it's almost like a cop-out. Not to say that psychedelics aren't amazing, but I mean, I know plenty of people that do psychedelics and they're still dumb chuckle fucks. So, doing psychedelics by themselves, it's not like it's going to make you higher consciousness and raise your vibration. Gosh, I'm so much more smarter and worldly now. You can still be a piece of shit. Do you think it's possible to grow height? No, it's not. Once you're 20, whatever your height is, that's your height. So, live with it. Psychedelics are fine once in a while when we do them regularly. Yeah, nor would I. Yeah, some people really do them, some don't. So I fell the fuck off Thor last month, so restart the phase. Yeah, just restart the last phase, dude. If you guys, if to answer like the question for all of you, if you ever fall off training, let's say you're really consistent for a while, maybe you got 2 weeks or a month or whatever, like, man, consistency went to shit, you lost your self-discipline, just fucking restart. Get back, just restart. Or depending on where you fell off, just pick up where you left off. Yeah, if you're able to. Is it possible for glycogen stores to be restored for people on keto or carnivore diets? So when you're on a keto or carnivore diet, your glycogen stores, like, you actually can convert fat into a sugar with like a lot of fucking steps. But that said, it's also like those diets are also inferior for muscle building. I consider for that reason. Because when you do exercises and you don't have much glycogen storage at all when you're on a keto or carnivore diet, you're going to burn out pretty fast. That's why, the people that train that way, like, there's a reason they favor sort of like shorter, brief, intense workouts. You can't do like volume training with that, or long duration activities can even be difficult. But if it's working for you and it's really working, like, oh my gosh, it works, this is the fucking holy grail of dieting. There's also people that try that and they just fucking, their performance sucks. So, that depends. But yeah, you actually can convert, in so many biochemical steps, you can convert fat, so to speak, into sugars eventually. What's the best part of living in LA? Living in LA, you have to hold yourself to a very high standard because everybody here is hustling. I expected more. Then fuck off. I don't give a fuck what you think, bro. Fuck you. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your heart and soul. Okay. Fuck that you're offended. Okay. Like fuck everything. Okay. I'll take all the fucks and just swallow that pill and fucking let the rage burn up inside you about all the fucks that I don't give that you give a fuck. So, Jesus Christ. Dumb fuck. It says protein will convert to glycogen by performance tanks. Well, that's what happens to most people. Their performance just sucks and goes down. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, but the best thing about living in LA is that everybody holds themselves to a very high standard. People here are fit and attractive. People here, they're hustling. People here they're trying to sort of make it in life. You don't meet anybody who's really fucking lazy. And if you come here, like, everyone's always amazed, like, people are very good looking. People are ambitious. Can people be fake? Yeah, sure they can. But this city definitely has an energy to it that way. Just ask you, bro, fuck your question too. Like, your question was poorly phrased and you asked it like a faggot. Can't believe it. That's so beneath you. I don't give a fuck what you think. Jesus. Actually, you know what? Fuck you. All right. Anyone else want to fuck with me right now? Anyone? You have any takers? No, it's that fast, guys. None of you are important to me. None of you are fucking important. Okay, I do this because I feel like it, not because you want me to. Jesus Christ. Hey, Jack, you owe me your attention. I've been following you for 2 years. Oh, I don't give a shit. This is how you have a following. No, this is how you have following, actually. You have to, like, I love having a following, but you also have to have detachment from your following. As soon as you start caring that you have a following, what your followers think of you, you are fucked. You will lose your soul. Anyways, you keep asking questions, though. God, it is a gloomy day today. Unfortunately, it's not sunny day. Realistic time frame for getting 15 pounds clean. That depends if you're a beginner or if you're not a beginner. If you're a beginner, which I'm assuming you are a beginner because otherwise you wouldn't ask the question, you go to uni. Fuck no. So if you're a beginner, that can be done in a year, actually, and you could reasonably gain, like, depending on your genetics and how well you execute, you could gain anywhere from 15 up to even like 40 pounds of muscle in the first year of training, if you're really on your game and you have good genetics. But 15 is quite realistic for the first year. After that, it drops down in half. It goes like 15 to like 7.5 down to like 3.5. If you've been training, like, let's say 5+ years, gaining 15 pounds of muscle could take literally 15 years. So, depends on your starting point. Yeah, I had a good year last year. From the last 2 years, I had 2 pretty good years of training, 2017, 2018. And I gained roughly, probably from like within those last 2 years, I'd say about 3 pounds of muscle. And that was like really good. Yeah, but I've also been training over a decade. So, just to give you a perspective. How do you develop your weak arm leg? You have to do unilateral training. Look that up. Unilateral training. UNILATERAL. Unilateral training. Where to go after the Wolverine program? I'd do the Kratos program next. That'd be a very good transition. So, all right, guys. Love you all. Talk to you all again. Adios.